Hello there sexy PlayStation gamers, and welcome back to another pure PlayStation video review, and this time it's Dread Nautical on PS4. Spooky. There are some very outlandish superstitions about the sea that have been echoed through the ages. These vary from deathly lullabies sung by sirens, to the bizarre belief that a banana on board will spell disaster for everyone. And yes, that's an actual thing that people used to believe. I still do. But, I have that opinion about all fruit and veg. The oceans have sparked not only our imaginations, but also our fears. Dread Nautical takes these supernatural superstitions about the sea to the next level. Before we carry on with the review, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons as well as the bell icon to get notified whenever we have new content for you to watch. It helps us grow our humble little channel and it'll keep you informed too. Plug over, back to the review. The game starts with you choosing one of 4 characters, each with various abilities to suit all kinds of playstyles. Each character is distinctly different and stands out on their own merits. The characters range from a swordsman trying to escape the Yakuza lifestyle, to a town investigator with an outfit to boot. The character I chose to rock out with was Mirage, who thought that a cruise gig would be an easy ride, literally. I didn't regret this choice for a second, as she's a kick-ass character with hilarious, self-aware quips, and she's generally just pretty damn cool. The journey starts on the cruise ship, where the ferocious rumblings of a thunderstorm are brewing at sea. You wake up in the lobby to find a fella called Jed standing over you. Thankfully, he is wearing clothes, but still creepy. Jed tells you that there's been a right old commotion on the decks, to the extent that he wouldn't be surprised if some folk were actually dead. But Jed doesn't sound like the most soundest of dudes, so you go and you have a look for yourself, see what's going on. Well, Jed was right. The poop has hit the fan. Grotesque creatures wander the rooms throughout the liner's wreckage. They're ugly, monstrous beings that look like something pulled straight from a Lovecraft tale. Fortunately, the depiction of these Lovecraftian-inspired ocean creatures doesn't eclipse the atmosphere and tone of the narrative. The cartoony presentation of the characters and the game's world is very eye-catching. The colours and textures help soften and relax the horror elements, giving it a more light-hearted touch and outlook rather than anything too gruesome, which I massively approve of. I'm a wimp. Get over it. Dread Nautical's combat is all turn-based. You move your character across a grid at the start of each turn, and you have action points that you can use to move or attack, either with your bare-knuckle fists, but preferably with a weapon. Dread Nautical draws from a vast variety of weapons in its arsenal for you to tackle these ghastly foes. Weapons can be found scattered throughout the game, and they also generate randomly between different decks. The weapons themselves can range from the totally radical, like wielding a pirate sword, to the obscure, like using a pool cue to sway away fiendish adversaries. My personal favourite weapon of choice is the golf set, where you can smack balls at the ghoulish critters. Rule number 32, enjoy the little things. Luckily, enemies don't always notice your presence when you enter a room. However, the sneaky buggers are sensitive to loud noises, so if you enter a room clanging, you're gonna get a banging. Sneaking is a possibility though, and if you can sneak your way behind an enemy, you can get the upper hand. The combat overall is entertaining, and that's helped in no small part by the outrageous weapons on offer. Utilising the mechanics to your advantage is highly gratifying, even if a minor drawback is that the camera controls felt very stiff at times. It's not only weapons that you'll be scrounging from between decks, but also other goodies that'll help you stay alive. These come in the form of healing items, food, scraps, ruins, and pages to decipher, so there's plenty to do. Moving between deck floors in the hunt of monsters and medkits is fine enough, as the different deck floors are all vibrant and distinctive enough, although some may find them a bit repetitive. That's just the nature of games with procedurally generated levels though. Me, on the other hand, I always look forward to the next time I come across a casino room, as they all look so snazzy. All on black. Viva Las Vegas. After working your way across the deck, you'll inevitably stumble across a foghorn. After the horn has been activated, an almighty echo fills the air that makes your character fall to the ground. This marks the beginning of a cycle of Groundhog Day style scenario where your character ventures the decks and pulls the foghorn to progress to another deck. Throughout these cycles, you'll come across survivors on different decks. You have to gain reputation with survivors you stumble upon, which takes the form of multiple choice dialogue options. If you can gain their trust, they'll join you back in the lobby. Finding survivors around the decks and conversing with them is where the game really excels. It was gripping and exciting to find another survivor, and even more rewarding to see their reactions to my personal decisions. Usually, I tried to butter them up to gain their trust, but this wouldn't always be received in a good manner. Some could see right through it, and I'd have to take a different tact. These characters are fleshed out with some good voice acting throughout the game, elevating them from boring NPC to, well, just decent NPC, I suppose. Just like in any good horror movie, investigating alone is not the best way to stay alive. This is why it's so important to recruit survivors back to the lobby. Not only can you enlist them to join you on your fights on the decks, but some will offer more stations. Be wary though, as you'll have to use scrap that you've collected to upgrade the sleeping quarters so you can hold more survivors in the lobby. And also food, because more people means more mouths that need to be fed, and you'll have to work hard to share the rations evenly to ensure that each survivor's mobility and survival skills are in check. This adds another level of strategic planning, as you'll have to allocate resources that yield the best results. It could mean that someone else goes hungry to give someone else a chance. If pure PlayStation was stranded in this game, Kyle would get nothing. So, will Dread Nautical make you want to batten down the hatches and anchor your mast to its maritime horror show? Some may find the randomly generated deck levels repetitive. I didn't find that it affected my enjoyment of the game, but that's just me. I rather liked the fact that I never knew where I'd come across the next soul that needed saving, or when I'd next be able to scrounge some grub for my band of survivors. Even though at its core Dread Nautical is a horror survival game, it's almost impossible for it to not lift your mood with its light-hearted characters, weapons and charming cartoony graphics. Personally, I can't wait to fling more golf balls. And that's the end of the review. Whew, we all made it, we're all alive. Good stuff. If you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification icon, it's always handy. And until next time, bye!